Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Ron Wallace here with Ballin' Down South Sports Network, here with another episode of the interview. Now, my next guest is no stranger to high school sports at all. He graduated from the University of Mobile. He's been a middle school athletic director. He's been dean of students, associate AD, even a skill trainer. And last year, with the team that he's now the new head coach at, helped the team go 26-2 overall, 8-0 in the area. They were 3A area champions, and they made it to the Final Four to the state playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to none other than Cottage Christian Academy's new head varsity boys basketball coach, Adam Thomas. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Ron?
Pretty good, Coach. I know, like I just said, you're no stranger to high school sports and dealing with kids. But before we jump all into your new job and everything right about now, let's talk a little bit about you. Where did you go to high school? I know you went to University of Mobile. Just give the people that don't know Adam Thomas a little rough sketch of who you are.
Sure. I attended a small school in Dale County. It's a small 2A school. It's called Ayrton, Alabama, which is, my hometown is where I was born and raised. Grew up there playing sports throughout my childhood, playing a little bit of everything. When I say a little bit of everything, we only really had basketball, baseball, football. We didn't have soccer or anything like that. But I'm a small town country boy, small town USA, Ayrton, Alabama.
Now you say small. Now, Coach, you're not small by any means. You're at least like 6'5", 6'6", something like that. Because I've seen you in person. But let's talk a little bit about how you got into the private school system as an administrator first before going into sports.
My involvement with education has come from just a longtime friend of mine who's actually a longtime coach here in the city. He and I played at the University of Mobile together, and he was here at Cottage at that time. And I was just finishing up playing a little bit and just doing some different things throughout the country and just business wise and things like that. So he's, hey, I need you to help me coach. So I've always wanted to coach basketball. I've always wanted to coach kids. I've always wanted to be around it. And that really kind of got my foot going and got me really involved in Cottage Hill. It's a really blessing for me just because it has molded and helped me develop into the young man that I am, or the old man now that I am. But, sports to me and Cottage Hill to me kind of go hand in hand. I've always felt like there was some leadership qualities within myself, and just moving toward that and striving towards that. I've always had the opportunity to voice my opinion about certain things here at Cottage Hill, and it's always been welcome. So that's just kind of got me on the right path.
Now, you were at Cottage Hill. You were athletic director for middle school, dean of students. You went off to Randolph School up in Huntsville, where you were an associate AD. You were at St. Paul's, head coach for the varsity boys basketball team, and then you came back to Cottage Hill Christian Academy, where you was helping Coach Price this past season get those guys to the playoffs. Tell me, how is it, before we even get into the players, and also definitely talk about your Twin Tower sons, how coaching, helping Coach Price coach, and all the talent you guys had on that team, young talent, I would say, because I do believe you guys got a lot of the guys coming back, going up against tough competition, playing outside of Area 3, playing some pretty big name teams. How were you guys able to accomplish that?
It was just a mindset. We felt like with the leadership we had, we felt like with the players that we had, it really didn't matter about classification. It really comes down to if the guys have the right mind and the attitude. And that's one of the biggest things that we've been really working on and trying to continue to cultivate this summer is the mind of it all. Do you believe? Do you believe you can play? And when you talk about that and you're able to get their minds around that, it really didn't matter who we were facing, whether it was a 3A area opponent or it was a 6A, 7A school. It just didn't matter. And our guys are very confident in themselves, making sure that we keep that balance of not getting too out of sorts with ourselves, but making sure that they stay hungry. And it's been real interesting to see them develop. I can't say that was the initial thought when we went into it, but in the end, I think a lot of people were able to see some confidence and some really good basketball from our young group.
Now, you guys, like I said, you guys made it all the way to the Final Four. You guys came up just a little bit short. Now you're at the head position, the head coach, the athletic director, and still you're dean of students. How are you able to accumulate all of those jobs together? Because in any of those jobs, you're still dealing with kids, and that seems to be one of your top priorities, is to make sure you're creating great young men and young women to put out here in this world.
And that's what drives me. When you say how do I do it? How can you pull all that off? It's because of my why. My why is for the kids. I do it to make a difference because I remember, just as a young guy coming up, there was people, there were coaches, there were people in the neighborhood and in the community that poured into me. They didn't have to, but they poured into me to make me who I am today. And that's just how I pay it forward. It's just in my mind. I try to contribute as much as I can, and wearing as many hats as Cottage Hills needs me to wear is just a blessing. It's not something that I take lighthearted. I think it's something that is part of who I am, and it's in my wheelhouse. And I'm really excited and honored to be part of the administrative staff here, as well as definitely coaching basketball, but bigger than that, just impacting youth.
Well, I can tell you this, Coach. Just looking over your resume, it speaks volumes of its own. So talk about some of the players you guys got coming back. I know your sons, a lot of your guys are pretty much they'll be juniors, so they'll be there for another couple of years. So talk a little bit about the team and what do you expect out of those guys?
Our junior core is going to be super strong. We do have all of our guys returning. And yes, my boys, Tyler and Trent, will be juniors coming up, growing a little bit just in stature and also in the game. There's a tremendous upside for those guys. They love the sport and they want it to be part of their life. So I think that drives them. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing what the twins can do. Josh Bell is another key part to the puzzle. He's a tremendous athlete. He is a basketball player with a lot of potential. Upside is tremendous for Josh. He's spending a lot of time in the gym, which likewise for a lot of our guys. So you got Kelvon McBride coming back. He's a two-sport star, and he's going to be able to add a lot of presence to our program. We have Cam Passat, who's coming back. Cam will be a senior this year, wow. But he stepped into a major role last year at the point guard position against some really good competition. And I saw that young man grow and develop, and I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to develop as we go through this process. We have a freshman that's going to be joining us in Shadrick Tootle. Tootle was a JV player last year, but his skill set is in a really good place, and he's ready to join that varsity ranks and contribute in a major way. And we have several bench guys that, sometimes they go unnoticed, but they kind of help mold and make this team what it was last year because they pushed and encouraged through practices and even on the bench. Some key names. Tenario Rouser comes up. He's going to be a rising junior. You have Bennett Allen. He's going to be a rising junior as well. We have several guys that in that junior core that's going to really be leading this ship. And talking about the guys again, we're not really defending anything. A lot of people talk to me about defending. We are attacking. We are attacking that next step, and everything in the wake of that is just part of the process. So we're attacking the top, and we hope, that we're able to attain.
Now, I know, right now, this month, a lot of the high schools are actually doing, teen camps, play dates and stuff like that. I know you guys played in a couple. You have any of those coming up, or you guys pretty much done until your season starts?
Yes, sir. We wrapped up our summer competition this past Friday up at Saraland. We were blessed to be invited to play in a couple of play dates at Saraland High School which wrapped up. We ended up playing Spanish Fort and Daphne there for our last two summer games. But for the remainder of the month, we're just going to spend some time recovering and then get back at our skill development and focusing on our team aspects as we move into July.
Now, how has the fan base? I know the administration, but the fan base, the fans, the parents, family members of your players, how have they felt with what Cottage Hill has given you the reins to their varsity program and being their sports program in general as being the AD over there at Cottage Hill?
Well, I'm going to speak from my personal experience with the people in the community here. It's like no other. And I've been to 3 other private school systems, and nothing to take away from any of them. But I feel a very strong bond and a lot of encouragement and a lot of support from all of our families in the community. It's been overwhelming to be honest with you. I have a lot of support. I have a lot of people who are encouraging and a lot of people that are going to be there to help us move forward as we continue this great athletic department that we have and just continue to move it forward. So to answer your question, it's been very, very humbling, and it's been overwhelming, and I feel like to be a part of it. I'm a blessed man for sure.
Well, a couple more things real quick. So what is your philosophy of coaching? Because there's different coaching philosophy out there. Other coaches may do certain things with the athletes or want athletes to do this. But just to hear your perspective, what is your coaching philosophy of getting on that hardwood?
Well, I think, most of what I coach towards is the defensive side of the ball. And I think that, through the preparation and through the mental toughness that you need and that's required to be a very effective basketball player. Over the years, things have changed for me and how I go about it just because players change. And I think that's the biggest thing is with basketball and with any sports, with the culture that we have, you have to be ever changing. And I think there's some things that you can't compromise. There's some things that you should never compromise, and being dedicated and being committed, hardworking young man or young woman. But for me, philosophy is real simple. It's a defensive philosophy in terms of how we go about stopping people, how we go about preparing ourselves to be the best defensive team that we possibly can be. And that's kind of where I spend a lot of my time. That's where I spend a lot of my efforts in training the guys, because it's a certain mindset and a certain mentality you have to be able to defend. And it's a real simple statement. If they can't score on you, they can't beat you.
That's right. Defense makes offense. One last thing, sir, and this is one of my pet peeves: education, the academic side. What's your stance on that?
Absolutely. I echo that tenfold. Academics come first, and one of the really, really neat things about Cottage Hill is there's a huge emphasis on academics as well as your spiritual growth here at a Christian school. But academics is one of the major parts of being a student athlete. Just right. Speaking on a personal stance, my boys, that's just one of the things that, we stay on them about, and making sure that they are creating that path for themselves through their academics. And part of that is you never want to really be defined as athletic, as a sports guy, or as just an athlete. You want to be defined by the character and the person that you are. And I think with the focus that you give to your academics, it sets you up for a very successful future, no matter what you end up doing or participating in. So academics is a huge thing for us here at Cottage Hill Christian.
And lastly, Coach, the kids that may be watching this interview, what would you tell a kid going into their junior/senior year, and it's the summertime? What would you tell those kids?
I would tell them to really continue to focus on their craft and whatever it happens to be, whatever sport it is, and to throw your whole self at it. Because, so many times we say we want to achieve, but we kind of go at it halfway. And I would encourage those young people to throw your whole self at it, because your high school experience should be very exciting. It should be fun, but it's also a time for you to really find out who you are and how you can be as you move forward.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Cottage here, Boston Beans basketball coach Adam Thomas. Thank you for coming on Network Day, Coach.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.